Yeah. So we press the button. What if I give a live stream and nobody comes? Story of my life. Oh, wait, there's one person must have accidentally clicked. Somebody in here? Get in here! We got a world to save! Oh, so I click on the comments. There we go. Oh, yeah, Adam. I'm here. I guess the check cleared, Adam. Samson, hey! Oh, okay. I feel better now. I'll step off the cliff. I see a few people in here. Samsonite. Thank you. Means a lot. Yes, you did. You just don't want to admit it. You were clicking on some e-thought and slipped. The finger slipped, and next thing you know, you got me. Hi, guys. Welcome in. We'll get started in just a second. A few other people are showing up. On a Saturday night. What are you guys doing on your computer on a Saturday night? Go out and go somewhere, do something useful. Don't be a loser like me. Hey, George. Good to see you. Right down the street, roughly. So, yes. Courtesy of a good friend of mine, he says, you know, I know something that you can update your Wi-Fi with, because my workshop is separate a bit from my house, so I got to use Wi-Fi. I can't really, hardwire is a pain in the butt. So I finally got it working. It's funny, it was working at first, and then it stopped. And I was like, why is it not working anymore? And through process of elimination, I realized, hey, maybe my Wi-Fi USB adapter just died. And so I just today got in a new Wi-Fi USB adapter, and it popped right up, worked like a charm. So yeah, strangely enough, I had a Wi-Fi adapter just die. Yeah, of course, I've had it for some years, so maybe it was time to go, but So poking around on Amazon, I found one that's claimed to be, what do you call it? That's super sensitive. High gain 5 dB. So popped that sucker in, and I was doing some reworking of my whole router system and access points have been totally redone in the house. So I'm running a completely new system. So I thought I'd have a live show to really exercise and test it out before I do something critical, like go on RC Roundtable and they start yelling at me because my Wi-Fi keeps cutting out. So you guys are my guinea pigs. Let me know how the stream is looking. How is it doing? I've gotten good numbers when I do speed tests. Really good numbers, like way better than before. But the proof is in the pudding to see, I'm still on the 5 gigahertz, to see really how it works under real actual conditions. Because I've learned in my life, there's theoretical and there's testing, and then there's realistic testing. So darker than normal. Yeah, probably the camera settings. I have a light right here. It's shining on me. I'm too lazy to walk over to the camera. I was tweaking with the camera. I think I turned on the color pop, and it might have cut down on maybe the f-stop or something. I need to go in there and see if I can pump up maybe the colors look good. I think it's just somehow it's just dark. Either the ISO setting is off or the f-stop is off. I don't know. So yeah. Here's where he says darker than normal. Because I was outside today. Maybe I got a little bit of a tan. Got a tan, that's why. Yeah, maybe. To be honest, I didn't think about that, but I was outside this morning flying, so I got tanned a little bit from flying out today. Everything behind is in focus. Yeah, stupid camera doesn't like to focus sometimes. See if I can force it to see. It's supposed to have face recognition. And I guess maybe if I'm too dark, it just doesn't. Don't worry about the focus. I'll worry about that later. I'm more concerned about bit rate, not focus rate. But thanks anyways. So it was good. And the up, I'm going to go down, but of course the up speed is what's important for this stream, right? Because I'm sending bits up the ladder here. So yes. All creatures tan, all earth creatures. And yeah, it's I'm not as susceptible to sunburn. I don't know if it's just naturally or what, or my pigmentation or something. I can get a little bit on my nose or something, but people say, "Oh, sunscreen, you're gonna die." It's like, oh, I mean, I'm not. If I was out a lot, I would wear sunscreen, but going in and out, it doesn't. I'm not prone to uh, sunburn. But I know other people that are. I know some people that are of the Asian persuasion that get tan and sunburn really easy. Really good. So no, I'm not using a Wi-Fi booster. I'm just using a basic two things. I've got a, this just came in, so not a booster. Well, yes, kind of. I've just picked this up. I had a, where did I put it? Give me a second to find where I did the other antenna. I probably buried it because it was dead. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. All right, so my previous antenna here in the workshop was just some generic Wi-Fi. It looks like this because I changed one of the antennas. I was trying to get a little more gain out of it, and it worked okay, but it just stopped working. The light came on, and it just stopped. So I picked up another generic, a TP-Link. I think this is more of a brand name. That advertised that it had high gain. Yeah, dual antennas, high gain, wires B. So it's kind of boosting in the antenna gains. Supposedly, I have no idea if this has any type of gain. And I have no idea how they're advertising the gain, if it has some sort of amplifier built into it or something like that. But it's not. Before I was using a mesh network. And so now I'm not using a mesh network anymore. I'm actually using wired access points, which kind of sucks because I got wires. I got to go to the access points. But I think the coverage and output is a lot better. And the network switch I have is really cool. It's got an app. So I can go into the my phone here and call up the app for the access point. Oops. Where is it? Which is really neat. And I can see all kinds of cool stuff. I can get data. You can't really see it, but I get some data on the ports. What's really neat is I can go to something called a topology. You really can't see it very well. Let me expand it. So I can see, I have two access points. It's kind of hard to see, but I can see the access point and everything that's connected to any individual access point and how the speeds that they're connected at and if there's any issues and all kinds of stuff. So really, really neat stuff. And I can go in, I can set up different Wi-Fi, what do you want to call them? I can make various Wi-Fi access points names based on if I want dual band, if I just want to do single band. If I would just want one access point to be 2.4, or if I want to be able to computers to force itself to be 5 gigahertz or 2.4 or whatever. There's all kinds of stuff. I don't even know half the stuff it does, but it can show me all kinds of, I won't even go into details, but really cool stuff. There's even some what do you call it? Alternate reality, augmented reality, that's it. So I can walk around the house and it will tell me the Wi-Fi signal strength and various information based on where I am in the house. So it's just really, really neat stuff. So it's good to have friends that are Uber Wi-Fi geeks and all that kind of stuff. So he really helped me set up a really neat stuff. So I'm still kind of hammering down the best antenna locations, access point locations. So I've been tweaking them here and there. And so this is a real first test of one possible setup. So anyways, probably boring you with all that detail about a Wi-Fi. You never thought you'd come here just to hear me talk about Wi-Fi. Yes, tap the like button, please. Looks like the antennas and my crappy price. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you're basically running a similar technology, right? This is 2.4. Your radios are 2.4. So you're going to have different antennas. Usually, the antenna doesn't, I don't know if this is all the antenna, because on 2.4, you don't need a really long antenna like this, unless you're running even at full wavelength. I don't think it's this long. It's probably only this bit of the antenna. But yes. And one thing, I got a pet peeve. I'll go back to RC stuff. When you're flying in your transmitter, and you're flying, your antenna sticking out like that, that is not the optimum position for your antenna. Now, if you know this, you just ignore me. But if you're not familiar with how antennas work, when you're flying and your plane is, where's the other antenna? Right here. I'll pretend this is the antenna. So you got your airplane, and the antennas are in different directions. Depends on where you are, but a lot of times your antenna is probably sticking straight up somewhere in the airplane. It should be. You should have one antenna sticking straight up inside your airplane, because it's not very long. Just a tip should sit straight up. But if your transmitter antenna is like this, and your plane antenna is like this, that is the worst. Let me go over here. That is the worst type of RF pattern that you have. So you want your antennas to be in the same orientation, roughly. So vertical, vertical. That is the best transmission of power. This way, no. This way, yes. This way, no. This way, yes. That's why some radios have, they say to put the antennas in different orientations, either orthogonal or something like that. That way, as the plane moves around and goes different orientations, you always have an antenna that's more or less in the same position and attitude as the transmitter antenna. We're pretending it's the transmitter. So that's always one of my pet peeves. So whenever I'm flying, I always try to get the antenna. Some transmitters you can't go completely vertical. I just bent that one out of whack. So even if it's a little off, okay, that's fine. But still, you want something like that. Now, if you have two antennas like this, you can move them in different directions like that, which isn't too bad either. That way you always have one sort of vertical, and if the plane is coming over you, maybe in a roll or something, you've got different planes. I won't go too much in antenna theory on this. Just you always want them sort of pointing in the same direction, kind of like that. Not even really like that either. If you want to really look up stuff, look up how the old school radio direction finding worked. They use that theory of how the orientation of the antenna works to use it as a radio beacon finder and tracking. So anyways. Oh, I got some questions. So yeah, I didn't really have a whole lot of topic tonight, so by all means, I have some questions. I think I had a short list of something. I just really wanted to test the RF link, so probably won't be on all that long tonight, but I see I got a question here. Do things better for a beginner crazy pilot? Well, I don't know if you're a crazy pilot. Start with an RC flight simulator or go with, it's two-part. Or really to fly. So the RC sims that we have now are actually really good. So I always recommend somebody to have an RC sim. Even no matter really your experience level, excuse me. Because for beginners, it teaches the muscle memory that you need to fly, different orientations. You can learn a lot just by flying. You just try to be consistent with it. Try, half hour a day, just on a simulator. If you crash, hit the reset button. Simulator is not perfect. Sometimes depth of field and orientation can be kind of weird. I actually tried one with my VR glasses, and it was actually pretty neat. So if you have VR set up, that's also really neat to fly. If you're experienced, they're great for trying out new maneuvers. If you saw the video I did of learning to do the, getting my turbine waiver, I pulled out the sim to practice the maneuvers that day where I was expected to fly to get the waiver. So I knew how to do the maneuvers, but I wanted to do them seamlessly, one after the other. So I would go up and I would practice the maneuver back to back to back. So I knew the sequence, like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, do this, do this, and do this. So I could do it all pretty quickly with only taking a few minutes because turbines don't have a whole lot of fuel. And so instead of flying up and going, what maneuver I need to do yet? Oh yeah, I need to do this. What maneuver? And so, so they're great for beginners and experienced alike, and it will help you when you start flying a real plane, if you don't think you will. Now, there's no substitute for a real plane, so I would also get you mentioned a ready-to-fly plane. Get a ready-to-fly plane too, or get a trainer plane. Oops, hit the wrong button here. Two, and go out and fly, because there's no substitute for the real thing. The adrenaline rush. It's like, hey, this is a physical piece of machine that's in the air, and if I screw up, it might impact the ground at a not so good angle. So that's really, there's no substitute for the real thing. But sims help a lot, and I always recommend them. Can I hide the comment? There we go. The real ready to fly plane. Good to know. Another friends with my balsa planes definitely have issues. Oh, sorry to hear that. I like balsa planes. I build one. In fact, I will be building another balsa plane coming up soon. I got a review that I will be doing on a plane built from a kit. So I will be doing that. You probably for a review. So that would be kind of neat. A round antenna is better. In certain cases, yes. Obviously, the FPV guys use round antennas, or what they call circularly polarized antennas, because they fly in so many different attitudes and orientations. That works better. If I remember correctly, a lot of GPS antennas are round, circularly polarized, because the satellites are above you, and so the orientations change and stuff. So yeah, certain situations, yes. I think, I'm trying to remember my antenna theory, I believe the gain is lower on the circular polarized antennas for the most part. So you do some gain, but you get advantages is multiple orientations that they perform better. Okay, are you trolling me? Quick thoughts of Phoenix models. I'm trying some of my first gas power. Could you be more specific? I'd be happy to answer you. I have an old Phoenix model. Well, early in my channel, I did a Phoenix Models Lysander, which was not like this. Lysander? Yeah, Lysander, which was really neat. I still have it, but I kind of crashed it due to battery got disconnected inside, and it's kind of a clean break. I've been meaning to repair it. I bought some of the repair parts. I just haven't gotten around to it, but it flew pretty good. It was really, really interesting plane to see in the air. So until you get more specific, they were pretty nice models. It was pretty nice, seemed pretty good to me. Yeah, not the most scale thing in the world, but okay. Quality seemed fine for the one I built. That I only have one sample, so I can't speak for all of them. When I remembered, it seemed, I don't remember any problems. It was pretty nice. It seemed well constructed. The covering was pretty decent. Covering job, that is. Like I said, there were some scale details. They made two Lysanders, and I had the smaller one. And so the smaller one didn't have flaps, and the landing gear wasn't quite, it needed more fairings. It was a little, they did cheap out a little bit on the looks of the landing gear. I mean, the landing gear worked fine. It was just, the bigger one was a better scale. It had flaps, and it did a better job on the landing gear struts. But generally speaking, the construction was fine. I really don't remember anything that jumped out at me. Yeah, Spitfire, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't really remember anything for an ARF, for modestly priced ARF. I think they're pretty good deals. Have you heard of the copter backpack to be a flying man? First of all, Johnny, your picture is really distracting. What am I looking at? I don't know if I've heard of that. It sounds like a helicopter backpack. If you have a link, pop a link in the chat. Be curious. I've seen people fly under quadcopters. I've seen riding on quadcopters, jetpacks. I'm not sure of a copter pack. No, I have to look it up. Like I said, if you know of a link, throw it in the chat. I'll be curious. Yeah, sorry, dry throat. So sometimes I like to talk about some of the past videos. I had a couple of videos that I've dropped since the last live stream. We opened any comments. I don't remember any big comments. The Corsair was kind of riding a tiger by its tail, but it was pretty fun. It's sitting over there. And it had the E-flite 1.1 meter. I kept calling it 1.1. 1 meter P51. That was really nice. I think it's one of those nice truck planes. Just keep the gear off, throw it in the air, have your fun with it. Kind of thing. Good for grass fields or anywhere. And I got some stuff I'm working on as well. Tried Apprentice, stole 700. Little rookie. No, I don't think I've tried that particular one. That's a little one. I've actually taught quite a few people with the Apprentice, the regular size one. Was it like 1.2 meters or something like that? But a little knife edge, that's great. It's some pretty cool stuff. I've seen, I think it was Ali Machinkli. He was able to hover a Aero Scout. I didn't even know it could do that. And he was able to do stuff that I could never thought Aero Scout could do. So I wouldn't be surprised that sometimes these trainers can do some pretty impressive stuff. Excuse me. Oops, somebody said something about RVA. I'm looking at through the comments here. I'll definitely watch all your videos. The RVA video got me to buy one. Oh yeah, the RV8. It's funny you mentioned the RV8. I was actually just flying mine today. I had to do some reworking of some stuff. I had to redo some stuff with the mufflers and something else. And I forgot what else the other thing was. So I brought it back out. I was actually flew it for the first time in a while today, and the replacement mufflers are noticeably louder. I was like, man, these suckers are loud. I don't know what happened. Maybe I just don't remember. And I was having an odd problem with the engine surging a bit at mid-throttle. At full throttle, it was fine. Around idle, something was fine, but around mid-throttle, it seemed to be surging a little bit. So I'm not sure what's going on. It never quit on me, but it just didn't sound quite as good as before. So I need to go in and check the plumbing or something. I did add a fuel filter to it as well when I was out, and I reworked some of the plumbing. So maybe I buggered something up when I reworked the plumbing. So I'll just go back in, and I think I'm going to add a little bit better cooling too. Felt like there was some hot air getting into the cabin, so I'm going to add some additional vents for cooling. But it's still a great flying model. Thing really floats well, and it's you'll be happy with it. It's a really nice flying model. It's one of those ones that I'm going to keep for quite a while. Plus, it's cool. I got a smoke system in it. It's got a pseudo-military paint scheme on it. It's an RV. You can do hoverbatics. That's probably going to practice that with it. Oh, thing moved. My favorite electric airplane that I own. Wow, man. Oh, I always get these questions. I don't really know if I have a favorite. There's some that I'll talk about more of my go-to planes than my favorite because it's so hard to have a favorite. I'll split it for electric. For EDF, it's real hard to beat my Avanti, Free-Wing Avanti. I think it's probably my most go-to EDF that I fly. I've had it for a while. There's a V2 now, and people were raving about the V2. I don't know if I want to upgrade or not. But if something ever happens to this Avanti, I was certainly looking to getting the V2. Regular prop job? Oh, man. I'm thinking. I'm looking up because I'm looking to see if anyone triggers my memory for any particular one. I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite. And maybe the coolest. I don't know. Because sometimes my favorite is not when I fly that much. Yeah. I don't know. That's a plane, because I would have to say that. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can pick a favorite. Which one do I fly the most? That's the problem. Almost every time I go to the field, I grab a different plane. I don't know. Looking around, I haven't really thought about it, but one plane I've really taken a liking to is the twin timber. It's going to be an odd thing. I mean, it's really hard for me to choose a favorite, but one that I've been flying a lot and having a lot of fun with has been the twin timber, especially after you go in and tweak the speed controller to give you more differential thrust. That thing is a barrel of fun. And you can put floats on it. I float flying it. I've put on floats. I've launched gliders off of it. It's sort of a workhorse, multi-purpose, flat spinning, really neat plane. That's really high on the list. I have a lot of planes that are almost to that point, but that's the one to choose for at the moment. Well, hello, Major Sabotage. Let's see. I fly one with you, come. Two little apprentice gave me the confidence to do so. Just got floats, look cool, but a little gun shy. It's okay. Float flying is a lot of fun. You should try it. I always recommend trying that. You can look up just some techniques with float flying. Make sure the plane's on step and not trying to horse it off too early and that kind of stuff. Let it fly off the water. And I guess maybe have a way of retrieving it if it flips over. I haven't had a flip over yet, but it's certainly possible. I've had some close calls. But float flying, I was just mentioning float flying. Float flying is a lot of fun. I recommend everybody try it at least once. So Super Crew 63, thank you. Yeah, hey, crazy quad brother P3. Yeah, you need a longer name. So yeah, me and a friend were debating going to the Richardson swap meet. We do go there on fairly often. I didn't make it this year. But good to hear that was a good turnout, because I understand it was a new location this year. They moved it from the school. Last year it was in the school cafeteria, I think. So now is it a church or something? How was the new location? Tell me, give me your impression of the new location, and what you thought about. You said the turnout was good. Turnout of people or turnout of people selling things? Twin turn nose over. I don't think I've ever had it nose over on me. No, it's fine. It doesn't nose over. Now, most of the time I'm flying from prepared surfaces, pavement or whatever. Have I flown off of grass? I don't recall if I've flown it off of grass, but it's got giant wheels. So, and they're really pretty far forward or right at the leading edge. So I wouldn't worry about nose over. And if it does nose over, it's not gonna hurt anything. Now I did whack it into the ground inverted once, so I had to repair it from that. So the nose is a little buggered from that, but it's back in the air. That's a hard for enthusiasts. It's like asking a mother which is the favorite. Exactly. So whenever somebody asks me what my favorite plane is, all of them. Can't pick my favorite kid. So that's why I was kind of saying which ones have I been flying a lot lately. And then that's kind of where I go. But I like every plane I have has got its quirks. And I'm looking at a lot of different planes that are neat in their own way. I've got a BV141, which is really cool because it's a big 80-inch electric that is asymmetrical, but it flies really good. Or, a little small indoor, I've got something called a Challenger, mainly an indoor biplane that flies really, really good inside. That's really fun. So, there's all kinds of, that's just a random sampling of stuff. I got all kinds of weird stuff. And I thought about I just haven't had the time. I wanted to do something along the lines of, I've still got planes that I haven't flown, either kits or stuff that I've acquired, swap meets, whatever, speaking of swap meets. I thought, well, I might make a neat video of just pulling down some weird random plane and saying, here's this Flamistam 352 that's not made anymore, but I've never flown it. Let's get it in the air, let's put it together and fly it, see how it flies. In case anybody else happens to find a Flamistam 352 at a swap meet. Yeah, it was a good people sale, a lot of feed deals in some venue. Oh, same venue, okay. Oh. What? Okay, I'm confused. So same venue as last year. Okay, I thought they moved it, but okay. Oh, it was at that church in Jim. Okay, yeah. See, last year it wasn't at a church. Was it at a church last year? Accessing. Oh, maybe we did go to the church last year. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think I'm thinking of 2 years ago. Sorry. That's good. It was a great time. You got some good deals. Of course, I went to Perry early this year, so I'll probably get my fill of good deals. I don't need any more planes. Was at the church. Okay, yes, I did go to that last year. For some reason, I totally forgot about that. That's right. So it was a bit smaller venue, but I guess if they can work it out, and it's good. Hey, you're back stateside from your trip. Good to see you. Yeah, welcome back to America. Where we life is a lot different here, huh? Look forward to whoops, where are you? Yeah, I look forward to a data dump of you the trip. I suppose I started swap me today and posting a video. Oh, okay. By all means, post in the chat where you're putting a video. Is it on YouTube or something? On the Quasi Quad Brothers P3 /2 subsection 5. Got a side room for bigger planes and a big front room for. Okay, yes. So now you're triggering my memory. So yes, I did go to that. That was the same place last year. I remember the same thing. There was a side room with some really big planes that you'd almost miss one of the side rooms. You walk in, it's like, whoa, hey, it's another room. I think it was some sort of sport room, tennis-based thing, like maybe a lacrosse training or something, highlight room or something. What did I do before? So it's 4 a.m. Paris time. Yes, it is. Ooh la la. Welcome home. Yeah, it was on YouTube. Okay, well, throw a YouTube channel in the chat. So again, taking out a sample. How's the Wi-Fi going? How's the feed? Sorry, the Wi-Fi. The feed. How's the feed? Hopefully it's doing good. This should be the mature setup. I've moved the wires out of the way so they're not just hanging on the floor. So everything should be set up for moving forward. Racquetball. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you. I know something like that. It was something that had a wall that you hit balls at. Does anybody know what highlight is? I remember as a kid, that was a thing. Does that even play it anymore? It's like J-A-I is how it's spelled. I don't know. It was a thing. They had handle. There was like a, what's the best way to call it? Think of it as a half pipe that was in a curved shape that you held in your hand, and you would catch balls and fling it at something or another. I remember it was big thing for sports and betting when I was a kid. I thought it was interesting, but kind of weird. I think I see your Zero again. Kyosho, I believe. Kyosho Zero. Is it still up there? I have a Kyosho Zero. I actually have a couple of them. I don't know if I can get it down. You said you wanted to see it again. Excuse me, I'm going to go off camera for a second. I think I can pull it down. I got to grab the step ladder. I actually need to. I had a problem with it last time I went out and flew it because this one is not electric. This is kind of an old school, but it was neat. And I got a story, kind of, about this Kyosho Zero. Let me see if I can pull it down, at least the fuselage. So, I'm going to go off camera, sorry about that. I'm going to go over and grab, see, there's my hand. I think I can pull it down. Come on, baby. So I got some planes kind of hanging from the ceiling. Well, actually, it's in the rafters, kind of. Oh, man. I might have to get on the table. Oh, yeah. I can get it down. This would be cool. I really need to. It's been eons since I looked at this. It's getting stuck in everything else. Make sure there isn't anything living in it. It's been a while since I pulled it down. Oh, okay. At one point, I was pretty sure I had a mouse living in the garage. So, all right. So, someone is asking about a Kyosho Zero. Here is a Kyosho Zero. Oh, the prop is broken. I have to fix that. So this is, these were really nice. They're not made anymore. Ooh, kind of damaged it. Didn't realize that. It's been sitting on the cowl. Well, that sucks. Well, I had a mountain. Looks like I indented the cowl a little bit from the way it was mounted. So these were roughly 40 size glow-powered planes that Kyosho made. Oh, late 90s, early 2000s. They're really nice fiberglass fuselage. Wood wings, had retracts. This one has a, wow, it's seized. That's not good. This one has an Enya 4-stroke in it. You can see the cylinder head just pop up. And it's not completely seized, but I'm gonna have to do some work on it. It was a really nice running engine. I got it at a swap meet, and it was almost ready to fly, just some minor stuff. Had to put a radio in it and some other things, but it had the engine. I thought, well, this is pretty cool. And I actually have a video on my channel, an older video when I maidened it after getting it fixed up. And it flies really nice. This was a really nice flying model. I like Zeros. If you don't know, I am a big quote unquote fan of Japanese World War II aircraft. And so I have various types of different ones. And Zeros always fly really nice, no matter what size. They got good proportions and very nice flying models. Story I had about it is this is my second one. The first one I had was one of my earliest electric conversions. So back in the early 2000s, I picked one up. In fact, I did it was a review. That's right. It was a review for which is now RC Groups. It might have been E-Flight, E-Zone at the time, or maybe just turn over RC Groups. And what I did was I had an electric motor. I had a Hacker brushless motor on a gearbox. And I have found a way to shove 16 sub-C NiCad batteries inside the sucker. So yes, this thing had 16 cell battery, not lithium. This is before lithiums were a thing, but brushes were out, but not lithium batteries. I think we're still not quite there yet. And it really flew pretty good. It was a little on the heavy side, but not too heavy, and it flew great. I flew it for quite a while. Ultimately, unfortunately, it crashed because the radio tray came loose inside, and just since once that happened, I had no control of it and whacked into the ground and destroyed it. And so I was really happy to pick up another one, even though it's glow powered. It was just a fun project, and it's a nice flying plane. And I've been half meaning to kind of get it back down and see why I couldn't get it. It wouldn't start before, and something was off. I was getting fuel. And the good thing, thanks for mentioning this, because I noticed the way it was sitting. It was kind of sitting in a cradle, and that cradle has sort of warped the cowl a little bit. So maybe I can try to heat it up, maybe pop it back out, because it's just been sitting on it, even though it's padded. I think it was padded. Yeah, it's got foam padding on it, but for some reason, maybe the way it was sitting on the metal, it bent it. But yeah, if you ever see one of these at a swap meet or something, I recommend picking it up. It's a really nice flying model. I forgot the wingspan, 50 something, 60 inch, something like that. And they're very, very, very pretty. So unfortunately, Kyosho just doesn't do this stuff anymore. It's unfortunate. Kyosho was kind of ahead of their game. They were ahead of the curve in a lot of stuff, and then they never updated to when the new stuff came out. So a lot of times, especially my friend Terry is a big fan of that. He'll take some of the old Kyosho planes. I've got one, I can't get it, an old, the twin motored electric plane that, when they came out, they had brush motors on gearboxes, and they ran on NiCads, they were kind of heavy. The airframes were really good, but the power systems just weren't up to snuff. And so now, if you find them at swap meet or something, put in modern power equipment, they are really nice flying planes. Yeah, there it is. I've actually got a second one. Somebody I knew said, "Hey, I know you got one of those Kyosho Zeros. Would you be interested in a second one?" And I said, "Sure." So I actually have another one. That one doesn't have retracts in it. It's got the fixed gear. So I'm thinking, well, that might make a nice roof. Remember what a roof is the Zero on floats. So they had, Japanese had a whole series of float planes, float fighter planes, quote unquote, that they use for area defense and scouting, that kind of stuff. So I thought, well, that'd be cool to have a Zero on floats. So that's what I'm thinking for that one. I also have a smaller electric Kyosho Zero that was sold under another brand for a while, and that also flies really well. Another early electric. In fact, I think I had a gearbox on it. Yeah, brushless motor and a gearbox, which you don't see anymore. So thanks. It's good that the stream is still going. If you're just joining me, I've redone the Wi-Fi setup throughout everything, throughout my home and the workshop, and so I'm testing it and talking to you guys because I wasn't really doing anything anyways. I was kind of relaxing today. I got another video I'm working on and some other stuff, but I figured Saturday I'm just gonna kind of veg. I didn't do much. I flew a little bit this morning before the rains came home, had lunch, watched a little TV, took a nap. I actually tinkered a little bit with my plastic models. I like to do plastic models, but I just haven't had a chance to touch them hardly any time. And so I said, I was gonna take a break from the RC stuff. So I went into the plastic model room and was tweaking on a little plastic models. I got a new airbrush I've been meaning to try. And I got several models in process. So, I really need to finish at least one of them. So I started back probably after the stream, I'll go back up and put a gloss coat on something. I already put one layer of gloss. I need to do another layer after it dries. So I can start throwing on some decals and some other stuff. Let's see. Someone's talking about crowded runway, but I don't know. Oh, yeah. I love to see that. Of course, you go there and see it. When I go there, I've been there several times. I never saw a model ship anything. I've been gypped. Model railroading. Now, that's an interesting question. So, if you show my social media, I will occasionally post pictures and maybe short videos of some model railroading stuff, because I still do model railroading. In fact, I belong to a local model railroad club, and I've actually got a couple of new small trains. I do Nscale, and I picked up speaking of London, I actually picked up an engine when I was in London, a British Virgin Atlantic engine, and I've picked up some stuff from my trip in Japan. And so I got a kind of a motley crew of trains, and I got some stuff from some local people. So that's interesting. I'm not against it. I'm not sure anything in particular you'd want to see. I think the club, now that you reminded me, the club had asked me to do some sort of video on their club. So that's something I need to do. Let me think about how I want to do that. So there's a local railroad club, and I think they said they have 10,000 square feet of floor space that they use. And so they have a mix of HO and N and O gauge, and there's a LGB setup. The O gauge is primarily a Lionel. There's some rare and some couple of random stuff. I think there's a narrow gauge, Nscale narrow gauge. There's a Z gauge. I don't know if I've ever run it. So it'd be nice to do sort of maybe just a video on the club of the stuff they have, and maybe talk to some of the members and that kind of stuff. I think they've actually asked me if I'd be interested in doing that. So yes, thanks for the reminder. I'll put that on the to-do list. P40 four-stroke is one of my favorites. Kyosho, so Samsonite says he has a Kyosho P40 four-stroke. So I've found that I have a kind of a fascination with the four-strokes, or more interest. I have a couple places. So I never had one. They were always too expensive when I was younger and poor. And early in my career, I was, I would just play with small two-strokes. Cox engines was my bread and butter, and I still like them. But now I've been able to find, usually at swap meets and stuff, some four-strokes, and they are neat. I actually have a couple of planes. I have a couple of what's the name of that company? So the N1 and the Zero, and there's one on a test stand here I was running. If I can grab it. Magnum, that's it. So there's a Magnum, but I have what's the other brand I'm thinking of? It'll hit me in a second. Sato, that's it. I think it's a Sato four-stroke in a plane. And here's a Magnum four-stroke on a test stand. I was test running some time ago, and I think it's still. I think one of the valves need to be freed up. So I like four-strokes. They're just interesting, especially since I've had a chance to take one apart and check the gap on them on the valves and stuff. It's just an interesting contraption to work with, and they sound neat. They kind of put. I have plans for a plane that I have new in a box to buy plane that's meant for electric, but I was going to do a reverse conversion and put a small four-stroke in it. I have a 20 size, a couple of different 20 size four-strokes, an OS, and another brand that's got sleeve valves. I don't think it's accessible. I don't remember where I put it. I want to take a 2-second look. Excuse the air conditioner sound. Yeah, I think it's buried in the box. I'd have to see what I did with it. But it was a really neat four-stroke I picked up at a swap meet. It was just a cool design, and I thought it would make a nice and a small plane, glow powered, of course. So yeah, I still like to tinker with glow powered airplanes. I know it's sort of they're not all that popular. How much Nscale I got to go through? Oh, sorry to hear about your dad. Had a bunch, including his. Wow, really? Yeah, I've come to like Nscale quite a bit. I started as a kid with HO scale stuff, but that's where I lived when we had basements and stuff. So now that I here live in the South, there's no basements and room is more of a premium. So I went to Nscale, which I was surprised how well it runs, and I quite like it. Then the Zero. Sorry, my Argentina. Is it Portuguese or Spanish? I guess you're talking about the Zero was a good thing. Modular. I'm not sure what you mean, George. Could you give me a better explanation? It's going over my head. Sometimes I miss the obvious. There's a Japanese float planing museum in the Pacific War in Fredericksburg. Yes, there is. That is a Nakajima N1 K1, if I remember correctly. So it's not a Zero. It is a competitor, but also a very good plane that has an interesting history. I was surprised to see it there. I was like, why is there a Japanese float plane at the... but it's a museum of the Pacific War, just a weird, you're nowhere near the ocean, and I think it's got but it's got a lot of cool stuff in there. If you're ever in Fredericksburg, go to that museum. It's really cool stuff. I believe they have a submarine there, a PT boat, and some other stuff. And the interesting thing is the plane there, that particular model, started as a float plane. It was specifically designed as a float plane fighter. And then they realized that it was such a good plane that they said, hey, what if we put some landing gear on this sucker? So they put landing gear on it, and they had problems with the landing gear because the wing, it was sort of a mid-wing design. The landing gear was so long, they moved it to more of a low wing with shorter landing gear. It ended up being quite a good plane. Thank you. I was trying to remember the admiral name that was his home. So yeah, CNC Pacific Fleet, Admiral Nimitz. So yeah, it was his home, and so it's a real good. And there's some, if I remember correctly, there's actually a couple of different museums, right? There's a tank museum or something there down a couple blocks away as well. Sometimes out of the year, I think they run real tanks and give some demonstrations. So it's just a real neat area. So try to time it right. You can see the museum, and you can see the exhibition of tanks and whatnot. Thanks, George, for a reminder. There's one or two things. None of you guys give me ideas. Well, I'm thinking of it. All right. So YouTube popped up something that they're calling memberships. Sorry, I'm looking up something. And they're saying, hey, you're now eligible and approved for YouTube membership. I really have no idea what that is for the most part. I know what membership means, but I'm not sure what all that entails. For those of you that may be more familiar with it, do you think that's something I should do or entertain? I'm looking up what they're kind of saying about it. It says, I guess different tiers. Obviously, it's, the cynical part of me is, it's a way to get money from you guys, but would be my goal to try to fleece as much money as I can out of you guys. I would be really interested if there's any real value that you think that would be provided by having memberships. If you're interested, what kind of things could I do? I mean, early access to videos, private sessions. I mean, what are they saying here? The membership levels, perks. I guess you can have extra stuff next to your name on video streams. I really haven't looked at it that much. There's a thing on Reddit. So I don't know what I would have to offer for a membership, but I'm open to ideas. Maybe, hey, I see a video that says YouTube membership. This is a guy and two hot babes standing behind him. What's that all about? Anyways, just some thought, still kind of mulling it over. Maybe I should talk about it later if I come up with some ideas instead of just giving it to you blindly. Hey, Justin, would you be interested in building an electric large scale? Well, I'm always interested in that kind of stuff. Is this a proposal or just a general question? I actually have several large scale electric planes that I own. I can't say I built like one from a kit, but I had a 80-inch electric Zero that I flew for some time. That was an electric conversion from a gas fiberglass kit. Like I mentioned before, I have a BV141 that's 80-inch. I have now a Lockheed Constellation 4 motored plane that's 80 something inches. So I'm always interested in large scale. I have an ARF in the box that I want to make electric. I think it'd be pretty cool, a large plane. So I do like large electrics. It's an interesting engineering challenges with such large planes. Do it so members can get discount on merch. Now that's an interesting idea. That's a very interesting idea. I'd have to work out the what are you going to call it? The logistics and mechanics of that. Can I do that with my current store? I might be able to. So that's an interesting idea. Well, thanks for offering that. I would certainly be willing to do something like that. I'll make a note of that. Sorry, I'm making a note here. Because I guess, and I wonder what the difference between the membership and, say, Patreon. I guess Patreon's a third party, but more or less kind of the same thing. Just either through YouTube versus through a third party. So, of course, that means memberships, I would have to offer you guys something to make it worthwhile. So that's more work on me. So I had to see what's practical for me to do, because I don't just do this channel. I have a real job, and sometimes that real job takes me, gets me busy or takes me away, literally away sometimes. So it had to be something I could do on a monthly basis that you guys would like, that I could do consistently. So I guess give it some thought. Your Bearcat large. Is my Bearcat large? I think is what you're saying. Yes, it's like 86 inches or something like that. It's pretty big. It's over 80 inches. That is another thing I need to work on. I was playing with it the other day. I need to get some better cooling in there, and that's going to require a bit of surgery. And so I need to find some time to stick it on the workbench and hack away at it for a while. And what happens, I got kind of backlogged on some reviews since I was away. It's a couple of things. It's a perfect storm of work taking me away literally for a while, having issues with my videographers, being summertime. They go on vacation and do all kinds of stuff. So I was trying to catch up on that, but I want to get the Bearcat flying in because it's such a cool sounding plane. Patreon would be, yeah, I see the second message. So Patreon would be better because with YouTube, they always get a cut. Oh yeah, they get a cut probably, what you're meaning. Yeah, they get their. So I was just thinking about too, versus how much Patreon takes a percentage versus YouTube. And you're right, it may be pretty significant. I know I've heard, like when you do super chats and stuff, YouTube takes a huge cut of that. So maybe Patreon would be better. And I've also thought about that too in the past, a Patreon thing. If I could come up with something that's worthwhile to do a Patreon, if people would be interested. I mean, there's models. I don't know what people would be interested in paying a monthly fee from seeing somebody talk about models. But again, I'm always open to ideas. Yeah, I figured that's what you were saying. Oh yeah, thank you. Arms, legs, and your soul. All right, fine. It's a small price to pay, Andreas. Is there a build video in the pipeline that would be electric rather than gas? A build video that would be electric. I have some. I have one potential, but it's not near term. That would be electric. I have a kit I will be building that's electric, but that's going to be a more of a longer term project. And I'm not sure if that'll be on a channel. It may be just in a magazine. So let me think about that. Do I have anything that's just electric? Excuse me. I don't know anything near term at the moment. You know, I certainly have nothing against doing electric. It's just whatever comes up that comes available for me to do a build video of. I know a lot of stuff seems to be gas lately. Although the last two ones have been electric. So we'll see what's coming up. Wherever I can't say more than the short term because sometimes things pop up that wasn't expected. And I've had some. Ooh, things close. Some, you know, I might have something I wanted to have. I mentioned earlier in the stream I want to have something personal that might be electric. So just keep your eye out. Changing between gas and light isn't huge. No, it's not a huge difference, but a lot of times people are just not interested in glow stuff. You know, I go out to the field, and I'd say where I fly, the majority of aircraft are electric. In my field, I mean, I don't know what it is where you guys fly. It seems to be maybe 60 to 70% electric, and then maybe another, you know, 15%, 15 to 20% gas, like actual petrol gas, large scale, and then a few glow. And that seems to be the breakdown. Usually the guys that fly really big aircraft go glow, medium, small, electric, and then you got the weird, crazy holdouts like me that like to fly glow planes on occasion. So it's just, oh wow, we talked for a whole hour. So it's good to see that apparently the upstream has been holding steady. I haven't had any issues. It looks like it's still holding on the 5 gigahertz access point. It hasn't dropped over to the 2.4, which is good. Upstream is good. Check, double check. I really appreciate you guys popping in on this last second stream. I didn't really plan on having a stream tonight, but I realized, you know, maybe I should have something real quick to show that the things are working on. I've got some things coming up. You can't see behind me. You see a little glider. This glider was a test subject for another video coming up, which you will see. I have to move that zero out of the way. I've got, you're talking about builds. I got something at the last club meet. I got this from a guy, and this is cool. Again, this will probably sit up in storage for a few years. But I thought this is an old Goldberg Tiger II. This was designed for glow power. This is an old kit from, I think, the 80s is when I started making these. And I actually thought, you know, this might make a really nice electric conversion. Since it's a kit, this is an old school kit. It's just a box of wood with instructions to make plane. And I thought, well, you know, add a hatch, maybe under the canopy, so some batteries in it, this would make a fine electric plane. Yeah, it's very old school, but it's pretty simple. It's kind of a boxy fuselage, but it's kind of nice shape. I always thought it looked like well, it says a tiger, so I think there actually is a Grumman tiger, right? That kind of looks like this, a real plane. And I said, you know, I got it at a price I couldn't refuse. And I said, well, that would be cool. And I like build kits like this. I still do this on occasion. I I've got another kit. I was thinking about scratch building for some plans I picked up or found online. So, yeah, anyways. So that was one of those unexpected things. I had no idea I was gonna. Yeah, old school. Oh, I couldn't either. I've still got several. I got a Gentle Lady that I want to build too from old Goldberg. Gentle Lady was one of my first, was the first RC plane I ever built from a kit. I learned to fly on it, and it has been long gone. It was destroyed, broken, disintegrated. So I thought it'd be nice to build another one with modern equipment, beefed up a bit more. But really cool. Lightened tail, and a much better build job than I did when I first built my first one. Much better build, much better covering job. All right, folks, I've been chatting at you for an hour. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for your patronage. I am out of something to talk about. We will stay tuned for channel for more stuff. Appreciate you listening in. Appreciate my Wi-Fi for not crapping out on me during this whole exercise. So I am really happy. It's good to go. I was a little worried because it wasn't working at all until earlier today. So, all right. So if you guys got any last thoughts, I'll give you a couple seconds to throw anything in the chat. Well, thanks, Robert. It probably wasn't the most exciting show, but thanks for your comments, questions, suggestions. Really appreciate it. Appreciate everything else. It's getting a little late. All right, so I will go on to entertain myself for the rest of the night. Maybe I'll go. I've been sort of couch potato mode a little bit today, so I think I'll do that a little bit. Maybe do some spray painting, drop in front of the TV, and see what tomorrow brings. Guys, you have a good night, good rest of the weekend, and I will see you guys later. See you later, crazy.